Namo Amitabha Buddha. Legend of Fallen Celestial Eyes. Extrasensory perception. I still have a childlike heart. Yesterday I talked with my neighbor's dog for a long time. Only the puppy and I knew what we were talking about. We communicated with each other using the sound of bark. I'm not a child anymore, but still having fun with the puppy, barking at each other, crawling with four limbs on the grass, and playing crazy. This is my nature. I forget that I am already in my 30s. They are reincarnated as animals and have lost their original intelligence. Only instinct and innocence are left. Some of the animals are still able to recall their pre-life, but the words stuck in their throat. Occasionally I came across some cats and dogs. Gazing at each other, they told me their pre-life stories through their pupils. Of course, most of them are puzzled and lost. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Namo Guanchi Pusa. I have heard a few cats and dogs telling me about their pre-life stories. They don't speak to me in language. We only get communication when we gaze at each other. It's hard to explain this situation. In many universities in the West, there is a discipline of parapsychology which studies mind transmissions or intentions, especially in the UK, the US, Germany, France, Canada, and Russia. Western scholars call this kind of telepathy ability as extrasensory perception. If you think that I said nothing specific, I would like to cite an example to prove how Western science values ESP. Since 1975, NASA has allocated special funds to hire experts to study telepathy, hoping to find a reliable space communication medium that is faster than wireless wave speed of light. The Soviets have trained their cosmonauts a few years ago to use ESP capability to transmit signals to the ground from their space stations. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Namo Guanchi Pusa. Namo Amitabha Buddha. And also they sent ESP codes back to the spacemen on space experimental station from the Earth. There have been many initial successes in the secret files of Soviet scientists, the best of which was to successfully contact cosmonauts with ESP 3,000 miles away from the ground. What method did they use to train the brainwave communication for those cosmonauts? Namo Amitabha Buddha. As I have seen, they adopted the Buddhist meditation method. Is it fantastic the Soviet Union doing this? They view Buddhism's meditation as a scientific method of concentrating mind to remove distracting thoughts regardless of whether it is God or mystery. The person who taught them had been to China to learn Buddhist meditation. They finally succeeded in communicating with the ground with brainwaves in space separated by 3,000 miles. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Namo Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. Though they only send codes and symbols, and they can sense and transmit, the accuracy rate is 70%. This achievement is amazing. This is a fact, not my fabrication. When they are going to disclosure that in the future, you can verify my words. Don't ask how I know it. I can only tell you this is also ESP. According to my personal naive experience, ESP is a microwave emitted by the human pineal gland, and its frequency may be more subtle than microwaves. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Originally, everyone has such a talent, and it has been exhausted by worldly lusts and vexations, and that leads us to lose this instinct. If we can clarify all the vexations and all the lusts in our hearts and reach a certain meditative concentration, this instinct can gradually be recovered and will reach a state of so-called supernatural power. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Namo Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. Then my consciousness travels thousands of miles away or roam in the space, which is an ordinary and superficial brainwave activity, no need to make a fuss. I saw nuclear explosions in mainland China several times in the past few years. The forecasts happen to match the later news reports. It is just a shallow ESP. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Many Buddhists have a greater ability than me, but they don't speak out. The truthful persons don't show off. Only a counterfeit like me would boast and talk nonsense. However, my purpose is not to flaunt my power, but hope that the young learners will have a preliminary interest and understanding of the Buddha Dharma. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Namo Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. End.